Welcome back to A Second Chance at Love and Marriage. I'm Shanice.
I'm Sean.
And we thank you so much for joining us again on this season 2 we are in. So we're doing this for another season. Today we're just going to share with you and talk about dating on a budget. Because I see the whole exploration and adventure thing is that's like my language. So this is one of my favorite topics. And that's dating on a budget. So one of the things that I like to do, I'm always either searching for a flight, searching for the next adventure, things to do, especially here in Milwaukee. The weather is like night and day, just like today. This week is supposed to be, we in June 6th. Yeah. We at the beginning of June, and it's hard to tell sometimes. Sometimes you never know what you're going to get. So the ability to be able to go out the house and go somewhere, do something different, see something different, experience something outside of your house, outside of your four walls, to me, that's living. Right. So that's why I try and find things that we can do without quote, because I don't think a lot of times when people spend money, that don't mean that they have fun. Just because, and I don't think that you have to wait until you have, a couple thousand before you take the trip. We didn't have a couple thousand when we went to New York to spend on a trip, and we wasn't going to do that. So a lot of times it's really not about the amount of money that you spend, but it's about taking the opportunity to, one, invest in your relationship, and to enjoy those small moments, to enjoy every moment pretty much, and to make every moment enjoyable. And for us, that could be either enjoying a good meal at a restaurant. Sometimes if we lately it's been the same one or two restaurants. So right. because of food consistency though. That's not because of us. But going back to my original topic, let me eat that. So going back to that, dating on a budget for us, I think that this past week we did a couple things. We had a couple adventures. One was
we went to that villa thing down there.
Yes, Villa Terrace, which is by Milwaukee Lakefront.
Yep.
Which is Lake Michigan. So what they have, and this is for people who live in Milwaukee, or if you happen to come to Milwaukee, one, it's $10 for adults, I believe, $10 to $13 for adults. But I like to go on free days. Right. So once a month, the first Wednesday of the month, I believe it is when they have it free to the public. So we went there. We had a photo shoot.
Yep.
We had a photo shoot. What did you think about the date?
I thought it was pretty cool. Somewhere I had never been, and it was beautiful. I hadn't seen that beauty, in Milwaukee like that. So I thought I was very awestruck and amazed by just the beauty of that place and knowing it's in my own backyard per se.
Yeah, and so that really made for a good time. And what was one of the other things we did? Didn't we do something else?
I don't know if you would call it a pier walk, but we was at the lakefront and Shanice was able to do a pier walk, I guess. It was a little pier thing down there. And
yeah, it's almost like you walking on water, but it's this brick walkway, and the water kind of collides over it. So and we go for a lot of walks. Right. We go for a walk. If it's nice outside, we're going for a walk once or twice out the day. Yep. Minimum one time a day. Unless we're just too busy and we're running around or something like that, which that's kind of rare for us. So we always going to make time for a 30-minute to an hour walk per day when it's nice outside.
Yeah. Then we also went to Door County the weekend before. Yeah.
And when I showed somebody the pictures, and they was like, wait a minute, this Door County? And they was like, this is right here in Wisconsin, this ocean with this turquoise green water.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, it's beautiful. And that's one thing that we have to go back to. But again, that was something, well, let's go back to the Villa Terrace.
Okay.
Now, the Villa Terrace, we maybe spent the hour there.
Probably so.
So we spent about an hour there,
Mm-hmm.
and then somebody was hungry, so we went and got food, which was $16.
Mm-hmm.
And for the most part, if it's something that we can pick up, then we just bring it back home and we sit down and eat in the comfort of our home.
Mm-hmm.
But we did that, and so that was one date.
Mm-hmm.
So we spent like maximum maybe 2 hours together. If you include the drive,
Right.
if you include going to get something to eat,
Mm-hmm.
if you include us sitting down eating together.
Right.
So that's 2 hours, and that was free. So that's one thing. And then walking along the pier. I don't know if we want to call it the pier, because Milwaukee, I don't think really has a pier,
Right.
so to speak. But walking on water. We was walking on water, okay? And if you don't know where you can walk on water in Milwaukee, you have to put some comments in the show notes, okay? Put some comments down there, and I'll respond and let you know where, okay? Because we need your engagement. We need your listenership so that we can continue to do these.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing. And that was just a nice walk, sitting by the lake and having a view there,
Right.
and walking on water. So that was free. The other thing was Door County. Now, Door County costed us money, but that was like a whole day adventure.
Right.
And we did spend some money there, but we intended to spend money. But it was under $100.
Yeah, it wasn't a lot.
Yeah, we drove 2 hours and 40 minutes.
Yep.
And stopped at, little places and things that we seen. Oh, I'm finna get out the car and I'm finna go look at this.
Mm-hmm.
Bought some stuff that I seen, because I like beverages. I seen some apple cider powder.
Mm-hmm.
So we also got that barbecue sauce. There was like this raspberry barbecue sauce. So a lot of stuff that was made by farmers and organic things. I like getting that kind of stuff when I see it's something that I never tried before. And then we had dinner, which
we
was
had lunch and dinner.
Yeah, we had lunch, which was okay.
Mine was pretty good. Hers was not so good.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I was disappointed, but it was like, I was disappointed at the fact that it was $12 and some change for some tater tarts with bacon and onions on it.
Yeah.
That part I was disappointed, but at least your sandwich was good.
Yeah. It was pretty good. Mm-hmm.
So we spent about $30 something on that meal.
Mm-hmm.
And that was with the tip included. And then we went to a meal where we spent some money on that one though.
Yeah.
But it was good.
And it was a lot.
Yeah. We got a lot of bang for our buck.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always good to go to that kind of restaurant,
Mm-hmm.
when you especially when you traveling, because we are foodies. It used to be just I'm a foodie, but now somebody else is a foodie. And to be able to go to a really nice restaurant that you haven't tried before, that's not a food chain, so to speak. It's not a food chain. It's not any of that, but has an original, authentic menu. And you had something you never had before.
For sure. I had chicken and waffle before, but I never had Belgian waffles.
Belgian waffles. It's not just Belgian waffles.
Belgian waffles with bacon.
Belgian waffles with bacon in it.
And bourbon
maple syrup.
Maple syrup. Blew my mind. And they was from Louisiana. He said the chef was from Louisiana.
Yeah.
So it just had that southern twist to it. It was amazing.
Yeah.
And it was a lot. I brought some home and ate until I was full again. So it was definitely worth it.
I think they had, it was like 3 big pieces of chicken.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it was like chicken breast split and, fried. It looked really, really good.
It was.
I wish I could have had some. I had some jambalaya.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I don't know where I got that. I think I got it because it was the only thing that was gluten-free or dairy-free. But even that meal, I guess when you total all that up, we did spend about $100.
Yeah.
When you total up both of those. But
yeah.
I think when it comes to eating, though, that's something for us that can't be compromised. But I have to tell this story, though. Remember we was at this restaurant, and what that guy said to the girl?
Oh.
This is bad.
Yeah,
okay. What did he tell the girl?
He looked at his check. He was like, "You going home with me? If it would have been under $60, I probably would have went home by myself. But it was over $60, so you got to be going home with me." I
Oh,
Eddie was serious. He was very serious.
He was dead serious.
He was dead serious for real. It was funny.
It was funny, but at the same time, it's like, how can a woman accept that? It's like, you okay with him saying this to you?
Yep.
So,
funny.
Because that was one of our dates
Yep,
that we experienced, I had to share that with you.
Yeah.
So always expect when I'm talking about anything that got to do with travel, all of me is gonna come out, and we're gonna go off outside of the lines. We're gonna go off the script, which we never really have no script anyway. Right. We just have a topic and we flow with that. But it's always something to do where you can where you don't have to spend money. Sometimes it's not so much about doing a whole lot of things. Like we take the opportunity to spend time going on a walk every day.
Right.
That's how we spend time together. So.
Yeah. And you got to define like what you mean dating on a budget to you. You know, to us, it means spending quality time outside of our our home, basically. It's like, because we date all the time. Me and Shanice spends quality time together all the time. But when we look at a day, we mean going somewhere, doing something outside of the normal monotony of today, you know, sitting in the house and stuff like that. And the budget to me is within our means. You know what I mean? It's like your budget's got to be within your means, you know. So we understand our means, and we understand what we can afford and what we can't. So we date on a budget. We spend quality time outside the confines of our house, on a meaningful budget that we have. And I love that, because I think you marry to date. You don't date to marry. I think once you marry a person, you continue, and that's really when the dating starts. You constantly trying to make sure you get more and more involved and more knowledge and understanding of who this person is. And sometimes out of the setting of your natural inhabitants, your natural environment, it shows you more about that person. I learned so much about Shanice in different settings. You know, I learned so much more about what she like, what she don't like, what's appealing to her. In the village, she told me that's going to be our backyard. Never knew that our backyard would be so big. But just going down there, she said she wanted her backyard like this, and that. But it was outside of our traditional home setting that I was able to see. You know, something that checking in my memory, that I got to make sure that I know when I'm building our house that this is the kind of front yard or backyard that Shanice wants. So it's just stuff like that. When you're dating your wife, when you're dating your spouse, you're getting to know more about them in an environment or an ambiance that, you know, that y'all not used to being in all the time. So that's what I look at when we say dating on a budget, you know. That's
very true. That's a good point that you made. Now, one thing that I also learned about Sean, you know, progressively, he's very open to trying new things. Now, the other thing that Sean has evolved, if I can talk about you for a moment, is the quality of food that he likes now. Like, he's almost become like a food snob. And usually I'm the food snob. But he's like, some stuff is like disgusting to him now. It's like, it was trash. Right. Like, sorry, Panda Express, but no.
Yeah, but I think it's because, you know, when you're around a person who appreciates stuff and understand that you don't have to settle. Sometimes we just, all right, I'm just going to take this because that's what they brought me. But Shanice is a person who likes what she wants, and she wants what she wants. You know what I mean? And I learned to, like, you know what? If I'm being served something, and if I'm paying for something, if I'm a patriot in your establishment, I should get what I want. I should get the best quality of that. So I've learned that, you know, by being around Shanice to, you know, make sure whenever you pay for something, make sure you get the service and the quality of what. So yeah, I haven't become so much of a food snob, but I pretty much have taken that from Shanice, is make sure that the service and the quality is what it should be. You know, they advertise they're the best of this and they're the best at that. So when you have it, it should be the best of this or best of that. Yeah. You know, so I appreciate that about, you know, what Shanice has shown me, that, man, you know, make sure they service and their quality is what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, and we've just just gradually learned a lot about each other on each, and I think that's the fun thing, that's the
Mm-hmm.
good thing, like about traveling, about getting out and doing different things. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
some people the only thing that they do is go out to eat.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that's the day we finna go out to eat.
Mm-hmm.
That's the day we finna go eat and drink. That's really not what we do. I
Right.
mean, the eating, of course, that has to come into play. But like a lot of times you get educated. You broaden your perspective
Mm-hmm.
as you see and experience different people, different places, different cultures. It really broadens your perspective, and it's also educational
Yeah.
because it's a lot of times we have certain perceptions or presumptions, I should say, about different things in different places, or we may think only certain people do this or only
Right.
certain people do that. Even ethnically we think black people may not swim. On the other hand,
Right.
black people don't know how to swim, but or just different things culturally like that.
Right.
But when you go different places, when you experience different cultures,
Right.
man, it really broadens your perspectives and opens you up to so much.
It does. It does too. And I think, people say we creatures of habit, but I think we're adaptable people, of habit. You know what I mean? So a lot of times you may not even know how you can adapt to certain environments until you do. And I like to watch Shanice, and Shanice is the same. She's Shanice, but it's so many layers of Shanice that I see when she's in other environments. Maybe it's cultural, maybe it's just a geographical place. And you learn that. You learn that about, the person you went. It's like if they was never placed in that environment, you may not have seen certain things about them. And I'm constantly learning that about myself. Not only am I getting more out of my box per se, I'm starting to learn more about myself in different scenarios and situations that I would have never place myself in had not been with the relationship with Shanice. You know what I mean? And I listened to Jay-Z say something the other day. He was like, no matter where I am, I'm the same person. Now that don't mean I don't do different things. I don't mean that I don't maybe communicate in a particular way, but I'm still going to be me. Every room I walk in, I'm still going to be me. Every culture or ethnic group I'm around, I'm still going to be me. But we do adapt. We do adapt. You know what I mean? Whether it's language, we don't got to have a tonality of our voice per se change, but whether it's language or, presentation, you know what I mean? So that's what I've learned about Shanice. Every time we date, you know what I mean? I learn something more about her, and it's good. It's good because it's so many sides to people, and it's unfortunate that we don't get to explore those sides because we don't get out of a box, whether it's a culture, whether it's a demographic or a geographical place. A lot of people urban, so they stay within their urbanized communities. You know what I mean? So we have to learn to do that. Date. And you don't got to do this stuff. To break yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can go. It's plenty of places you can go within your state or city, or with outside of your state. That's not. I ain't gonna say cheap, but it's not too expensive. It's inexpensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you learn a lot. You learn a lot about people, and you learn a lot about yourself.
Yeah, because I think I forgot where we were at this restaurant. Who we not gonna say the name because they tried to give me what was it, Dijon mustard.
Oh yeah.
But you didn't know that you liked it. What was it that you tried? And you was like,
duck.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he didn't even know that he liked the duck, but he tried duck, and it was really good.
And it was really good. And I would have never tried it, especially the place. I would have never went to that place anyway. But going to that place, I looked at the menu. And a lot of things, what I'm learning to do is like, if I'm at a different place, why not try something different?
Yeah.
Sometimes we can go to a different place and say, do, and look, and eat the same thing.
Yeah.
So it's not like we're trying anything or we're not learning anything. We're just in a different place, same old same. You know what I mean? So I'm learning. Then Shanisha encouraged me. She was like, try something different. Eat something different. I'd be like, oh. But I'm like, all right, let me try something. Then I learned that my palate is open to different things. And now I'm more open to trying these different things as long as I don't have a allergic reaction. And that's not always true, because sometimes I try new things knowing that I might have an allergic reaction to it. May not be the best thing to do, but hey, I'm trying.
But you had something before when we was in New York.
Yeah.
And that
It was so good. I'm like, Shanice, I don't know. I feel like I'm having some kind of allergic reaction, but I'm not going to stop eating it.
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
So that was funny.
And I was looking like, okay, well, what am I supposed to do? I don't have an EpiPen or anything to help you. And we're in a whole different state and city.
Yeah.
But he continued to eat.
Trying something new.
Yeah. And actually, that was more familiar to you because it was like a fried rice. It was.
Yeah, but they had they had to have some, because most of my allergies are nut related, you know what I mean? So I think it was something with the gravy or some kind of sauce that they put on this rice. And it was some Thai food stuff. So I don't know what it was. It was tasted so good, but I'm like, I feel something. I feel something not working right in my throat, but I can swallow still, so I'm going to continue to chew and eat.
Oh my gosh, that is too funny. Yeah. So we've learned a lot. We learned a lot. So we encourage you to do the same. You know, try something different. You know, if going out to eat is your thing, hey, by all means, we applaud you. Yeah. Have fun, but try something new. Try something different. Yeah. One of the ways that me and my son Donovan, we used to get the small plates menu, and we tried just a bunch of small plates of stuff. And a lot of times you can just look at the ingredients and see, well, I like that. Right. You know, that's one way you can do it. One way that you can see, even for you to find out what's free in your area is Google. Right. I mean, come on, y'all. We Google everything else. Google to see, you can simply put in what's happening in, for us, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And it'll give you the option to do this weekend, today, tomorrow, or sorry about that. It'll give you the option to choose this weekend, today, tomorrow, whatever the case may be, next week. But you can always Google stuff to find out, or to find out what's free. Yeah. What can I do in my city that's free? Yeah. And something should come up, something should appear. A lot of times it'll have free museums. I know for us it has free museums. Or stuff that you can do within your own budget. Yeah. So.
And sometimes you got to have a budget that has entertainment in there. You know, sit down once you figure out your bills and all the things that you want to do, money aside for a savings account or investments or whatever. You know, please make a budget for something you want to do that can keep the relationship exciting and spicy and things of that nature, and stay within inside of that. Even if you have to say, okay, you know, we're going to wait 2 times for this check or whatever, and to put a little bit more money if we want to do something a little bit more extravagant. You know, I always say, you know, at least try to do something once a week, you know, with the wife and things of that nature. And so that's why free things are really good. You know, if you can find something free, because then you can continue to build up for more extravagant vacations down the line, but still do something free, man. Me and Shanice this week, there's so many things we do. We went into an art walk that turns out to be an art competition, you know, that we was like, man, these artists are great. Yeah. You know, so we got to see a bunch of beautiful art being created, because they didn't bring their art, they created their art on the spot.
And they had 1 hour to create it. I forgot about that. Man, it was so beautiful. It was so amazing.
And that was free. Once again, we didn't have to pay to get into this thing or anything. They had music, you know, they had a lot of stuff like that. So it's a lot of stuff that if you really want to get out and do something, man, it's out there. It's out, especially now that summer is coming around. People are always throwing something together. It's something you can go to, some park or whatever.
And then, too, I didn't know that somebody would be so invested in participating in judging the artist by casting a vote. I'm thinking I'm going to do a walkthrough, and, you know, we're going to go to this, you know, this art tournament, because that's what it was. 64 artists, and they have 1 hour to compete against, you know, the person that was at the table with them. So oh wait, he has to pull up. I wasn't that invested. And then I'm like, okay, well, if I'm going to be going to every table with him, I might as well. I said, well, at least I know the person I'm going to vote for. I'm going to at least vote for that one person.
For sure. And you know what's crazy about it is that anybody who know me, they know I love the NCAA tournament. And it was like the NCAA tournament. I'm like, man, they got a bracket of 64 competitors. Now it's like not only about the art, it's the competition. So I'm like, oh, okay, I want this person to win. I want them to push through it. So it's like I'm looking at the whole thing. And then we went to my sister thing the day after that. And I'm like, hey, we got to find out who won this tournament. So I'm all on the internet trying to Google who won the tournament. And then I looked the person up and everything. I'm like, I got so involved because it was like a tournament style thing. But the art was beautiful. The art was beautiful. And it was nice. But
the tournament, the prize was for how much?
$20,000. $20,000, and I'm like, man, if we would have had somebody that we knew that could have been, and we could have told, and we like, man.
And we know some people who do art.
Yeah, so it was cool. It was really cool. Mm-hmm.
So, well, yeah, that was an absolute fun weekend.
Mm-hmm.
There was something else though that I was gonna say. What did you tell that one lady? You told them you was like, he competing against you, but I'm voting for you.
For sure. Because they didn't even know. Some of them didn't even know that they was competing with the person at their booth. They knew that they was going against everybody, but the way it was set up, you got to push through the person you drawing or making this art with at the table you're at. So I told one lady, I'm like, you're competing against her. I said, but don't worry about it. I'll pick you anyway. It was just so funny because, it was just a wonderful time.
It was. We had fun. It was just amazing how many things that we were able to do together and not spend a whole lot of money. Yeah. But it was, for me, it's so needed and it's so required to get out and to just, experience and explore and to see all these different things and be a part of that. So we had a lot of fun this past week and
learned a lot about each other.
Yeah, we did. We did. That somebody likes art and they like art tournaments. So
I didn't even know that. I learned that about myself.
So we hope that some of this has helped you so that when you're thinking about a date night, even one thing that you can do is we're actually going to put some of this on our Instagram. So we'll show you, we'll take you along on our next date, which we try and put a lot of stuff in our Instagram stories or on our Instagram page. So we'll put a post or put it in the stories as far as what we're doing on our next date night to take you along with us. So for right now, we thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget to get your beautiful affirmations. The link to that is in the show notes. We are at etsy.com/I Create Revival. Take care until next time.
Bye.